electrical cables, electrical gadgets. Have you got at least one drawer in your house that looks a bit like this? I'm Rachel Papworth from Green and Tidy. I help people all over the world to declutter and create homes they love. And one of the things I come across with my clients a lot is electrical spaghetti. So I thought you might appreciate some hints and tips to help you disentangle it. This picture is a before shot of a drawer in my office. I decluttered and organised it some time ago, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I did to get it into a state where it works for me. Here's what the same drawer looks like now. Everything's categorised and organised, and I can find what I want quickly and easily. So how did I get it like that? Well, one of the first stages when decluttering, and take a look at my how to declutter video for more information, is to get everything out of the area you're decluttering and into a clear surface where you can see what you're doing. I can't quite bring myself to re-mess up the drawer, but I will get out everything from it and we can look at some of that together. Now, the process for sorting through electronics and electronic cables is the same as for anything else. It's a question of being systematic, going through one item at a time, deciding how realistic it is that you're likely to want or need to use it in the future. However, one of the challenges with electronic cables is you might not know what each thing is. It's become detached from the item that it came with and you don't know what it does, and you're nervous that if you chuck it out, you might suddenly discover that you can't connect your video recorder to your PC or whatever it is that you need to do. When that's the case, have a look at the cable and see if it's got any code numbers on it. Often they do. This one does, for example. And then this is where search engines are your friend. So just bang it into your favourite search engine and see what you come up with. Sometimes I find I have to put in, like this one's got lots of different code numbers on it, and I have to try a few to see which one comes up with the correct cable, but I usually get there in the end. And then you can use the images that come up to make sure that it matches the cable that you're looking for. So let's try this one. Electrical cable, AWG, 24 AWG, and it says 2835, and it says, I think that's an E, I'll say that's an E, 87647. And then I'm going to have a look at the images. That doesn't, oh wait a second, that one looks like mine. So it's an Ethernet cable. I'm able to identify that that's an Ethernet cable. Maybe I don't know what an Ethernet cable is. So then I can just put that into my favourite search engine too, Ethernet cable. And I am told that it connects either a laptop, desktop computer or a modem router, making it ideal for home offices and establishing computer networks. So I've got some idea what that is now, and I can put it with any other cables that are the same. So that's the next thing. Get cables that do the same thing, that have the same connectors, that have the same function together. You might find that you've got a lot of certain types of cable. USB to mini USB, for example, comes with a lot of different gadgets, and you might find you've accumulated a lot of them. Now they're useful, you know, that's the reason why they come with a lot of gadgets, so you might decide to keep them all, but if you've got dozens of them, maybe it's time to move some of them on. If you can, you might want to check that all your cables work. However, unless they've been stored very badly, they probably do, so don't worry about that too much if it's difficult for you to do it. If you know a cable is specific to a certain gadget and you don't have that gadget anymore, and it's not something generic like USB to mini USB, which would work with something else, it might be time to get rid of that cable. And then once you've cut down your electronic cables to just the ones that you think you've got a realistic likelihood of using in the future, the next thing is to find a way of storing them. Now what I find works really well is to use these freezer bags. So I put all cables of the same type, these are my USB to mini USBs, into the freezer bag, and then you can label the freezer bag just with an ordinary pen. This one says USB to mini USB, and that keeps all the cables of a certain type together. Another thing you might like to do is keep certain cables with the gadget they're useful for. So the video camera that I'm using to make this video connects to my PC using a USB to mini USB cable. And I actually keep one of those in the bag with the camera rather than keeping it in this bag with all the other USB to mini USBs. I've got plenty of them, so I keep one of them with the camera so it's there ready for me to use when I want it. It can also be worth labelling your cables. If you get a CD writing pen or a permanent marker, and perhaps get a white one because a lot of cables and plugs etc. tend to be black, you can write on the plug or on the cable when you first get an item what it came with, and then when you find it in the future you'll know which gadget it belongs to. Finally, 3 points to make about getting rid of electrical cables. Now the first thing is not to worry too much. If you do get rid of an electrical cable and discover in the future that you need it, they are replaceable. So again, you can just go to your favourite search engine, put in the cable that you're looking for, and it is possible to buy them and replace them. Secondly, please remember that electrical items are recyclable. Precious metals can be recovered from them. So I'm in the UK. For the moment anyway, we're subject to EU law, which means that most local authorities will have some way of collecting or enabling you to bring electrical items for recycling. So check with your local authority about what that is. I don't know what the systems are in other countries, but check with your local government about how to recycle electrical items. And the final point is what to do with those items that you're left unsure about. You're not sure what gadget they belong to, you're not sure how important they are. My suggestion for those is to put them all together in one place in a box, label the box with today's date and a note that these are the electrical items you're unsure about, and then when you come back to declutter again in maybe a year's time or whatever length of time feels appropriate to you, you can decide again, maybe it's time to move these on because you haven't needed them in that length of time. It's unlikely you're going to need them. Good luck sorting out your electrical spaghetti. Let me know how you get on. Comment below on this video if it's been useful to you, and do share it. Join Green and Tidy for free at mygreenandtidylife.co.uk. You get a free masterclass in how to declutter and stay decluttered forever, and weekly inspirational tips and hints from me. Subscribe to this video channel. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time.